Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another Ultimate Review. So today I'm going to give you my unbiased and brutally honest review of the Tribit StormBox Micro 2. So Tribit did send out this unit to me for reviewing, but you can rest assured, as with all my reviews, it is not paid. I am not being forced to say anything good about this. So I have the liberty of saying everything that I don't like about this speaker, and of course the things that I do love about them, I'll mention them to you without any hindrance at all. And as always, if you do enjoy watching my videos, please help the channel out by smashing the like button and subscribing to the channel. And yep, that's about it. Let's begin. Now it comes in a simple hard case box, and inside the box you get the user manual, the USB-C to USB-C charging cable, and the StormBox Micro 2 itself. Alright, so now let's talk about the features of the StormBox Micro 2. So this is a 10 watt RMS speaker with Bluetooth version 5.3. Now this is the latest Bluetooth version that's going to give you greater range and a far more stable connection. It also has IP67 water and dust proofing, supports true wireless stereo, so you can pick up two of these, pair them together and get true left and right channel separation. It also has an inbuilt microphone to take your calls. It's got a 4700 mAh inbuilt battery, which Tribit claims is good for 12 hours of continuous playback, but obviously those are in ideal conditions where the volume is set to around 50 to 60%. But at max volume, you can really halve that and get maybe 5.5 to 6 hours of continuous playback. Now, one good feature is that the StormBox Micro 2 also can double as a power bank. So apart from listening to music, you can also charge your phone while doing so. Alright, now let's talk about the build quality of the StormBox Micro 2. So this is made of the usual fabric and matte rubber finish that I've come to love from the StormBox Micro, the original one. So it feels really dense and sturdy, very high quality, absolutely no jagged edges. The fabric feels great. The buttons on top are very tactile and clicky. And at the bottom, this matte rubber finish feels very comfortable and nice and grippy to the touch. Now at the bottom, you also have 4 rubber feet that helps to keep the speaker in place when you're playing it at max volume so it doesn't jump about. And it's also got the bass port at the bottom. Now in front, you have the power button, the microphone hole, 5 LED lights that will let you know how much power you have left, and the Bluetooth pairing button. And on the right side, you have the USB-C charging port. And of course, you also have this handy strap with which you can loop it around maybe the handle of your bicycle or anywhere that you need to. Alright, so now let's get into the main criteria, which is audio quality. Now you guys know, if you're an existing viewer, I never just say it's good sound or bad sound. I judge any speaker based on how they produce the 3 main frequencies that broadly make up any sound that you hear: highs, mids, and lows. Highs where the really sharp sounding instruments are, mids where the vocals are, and the low or the bass. Now first, before I delve into the frequencies, I have to say that for a 10 watt speaker, this does get plenty loud. So if volume was a concern, it's got you covered. Okay, so starting off with the high frequencies. So the high frequencies on the StormBox Micro 2 were very bright, very sharp. The only thing I noticed was that at max volume, certain tracks would have a bit of distortion in the form of crackling, but that only happened when there was no other frequency coming in at that point. So as soon as the other frequencies piled in, that distortion goes away to a great extent, almost absent, or you can reduce the volume to around 80% and that distortion in the form of crackling goes away. But in terms of sharpness, the highs are pretty sharp and they are very audible. Now, if I'm being very honest, I would have preferred a bit more richness in the highs and a bit more separation from the mid frequencies. So I felt it lacked a bit of separation from the vocals. So sometimes they do get a bit muffled on certain tracks, but that is me being very harsh. But in general, the high frequencies are very sharp and very audible. Now let's talk about the mid frequencies or the vocals. Now the vocals again are pretty audible and they are bright. But again, if I'm being very honest and very harsh, I felt again it lacks separation from the high and low frequencies. So they do get a bit muffled at times and you really want the vocals to stand out a bit more. So while they are audible, they are not as rich and the voice doesn't sound as warm as I would want them to be. So there is definite room for improvement in the mid frequencies. It's not bad, but just a bit more body in the mid frequencies would have made it sound far better. But if you're going to use this to listen to a podcast, dialogue based videos, then for that purpose, it just works fine. Okay, now let's talk about the low end or the bass. Now, while I have to give it credit because it's got a very small size signature. It's a flat speaker. It doesn't have a lot of room for the air to play around, which really helps with the bass. But I still found that the bass is punchy enough when you consider the size of this speaker. And I've definitely heard other speakers with more punchy bass. So I'm not saying this is the most bass heavy by any means, not meant for a bass head as well, but it's got adequate punch so that you don't really feel that the bass is missing. Because I've heard speakers that are bigger than this, but the bass is very underwhelming and disappointing. But in that sense, the Micro 2 does pack enough bass where it's audible, but it's not really meant for you to enjoy very bass heavy music. This is geared more towards vocals and high frequencies. So mainly vocals. If you're listening to podcasts or general music listening where it doesn't depend too much on the production of bass, then for that purpose, this speaker actually works pretty good. So all in all, I would say the sound signature is pretty decent. The highs are pretty sharp. The vocals are okay. Yes, a bit more separation between these two frequencies would have been better. But if you know that you're a casual music listener, you don't really care about all these nitty-gritties that I'm talking about, then this speaker is just fine. It has all the bells and whistles that you would want in a Bluetooth speaker from 2022. But if you are a bass head and if you're invested into really bass heavy music, this might not be the speaker for you. But if you're into listening to a lot of podcasts and dialogue based or vocal based stuff, then this is just fine. So guys, that was my review of the Tribit StormBox Micro 2. For my Indian viewers, this is yet to launch in India, but it surely will. And for the rest of you out there, this is already available in the US and elsewhere. So I'll leave a link in the description below. You can check it out from there. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful and enjoyed this video, you know the drill. Please smash the like button. It really helps me out. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share this video with your friends and family. And as always, I'll catch you guys very soon in the next one. Cheers.